JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Jaguars great Fred Taylor will break down today's game with highlights and analysis. Jaguars Postgame is brought to you by Farah and Farah, Baptist Health, and by TIAA Bank. Jaguars Postgame, presented by Florida Home AC, starts right now.
Welcome in. It's Jaguars Postgame presented by Florida Home AC. Final score, Jaguars 34, Cowboys 14 in preseason week 3. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey. No Fred Taylor this week. He'll be back with us in week 1. Good all-around team win, Mike. And the starters looked solid on offense, seemed to have some rhythm going, which was a goal for Urban Meyer coming into this game. The defense was solid, good effort there. And then in the second half, you saw a bunch of guys fighting for a roster spot and playing well.
Yeah, look, it was a pretty good performance all the way around, and I'm sure Urban Meyer cares about all of that you just laid out there. I cared about two things primarily. One was don't get anybody who we consider to be a key player hurt in this game. It appears that they escaped unscathed in that department, and let's have Trevor Lawrence have some success. We had no idea who exactly he'd be throwing to. It was nice to see him connect with Laviska Shenault, who's ostensibly your number one wide receiver when Chark and Jones are not on the field, JP, but Pharaoh Cooper got involved early on, and Lawrence just looked really good. You know, they gave him some protection. He got the ball out of his hands quickly. He was on target, 11 out of 12 passing. It gave Jaguar fandom something to hang their hat on for the next 2 weeks. And you know, I think the fan base probably a little bit in the doldrums, understandably so, with the lack of offensive performance in the first 2 games, the injury to Travis Etienne. You can't do anything about Etienne. He's not coming back this year. But what you saw today was a team that looked much better, albeit against a lot of Dallas backups. But the Jags, look, 4/5 of the offensive line was out there. 2 of their top 3 receivers. So you could say that 6 out of 11 starters were not playing for the Jaguars offense when Trevor Lawrence led them up and down the field. So I thought very encouraging signs today, particularly from number 16.
On the defensive side, a good amount of the starting group was out there in the game today,
initially,
at least early in the first drive or two. And even a guy like Miles Jack was getting time in this game today.
Yeah, it was kind of odd because they really didn't play all that much. But it was fine. Like, they escaped unscathed. You don't have to second guess the usage or anything like that. It was, C.J. Henderson got a lot of playing time today, but we talked about it at halftime. He probably needs that, to kind of get up to full speed. And I think there are going to be some interesting cuts. The guys were talking about it on the broadcast, both at safety and wide receiver. The depth is incredible. At least it seems like it's a very close competition for the last few or maybe last single roster spot at those positions. So I don't envy the task that Urban Meyer, Trent Baalke, and the crew have to do between now and Tuesday to get that down to 53.
Bunch of different receivers had some action today and some nice play. Cotton was one of those. Philip Dorsett had a long catch. Hammond with a bunch of catches today. I mean, they really spread the thing out at the wide receiver, and I'm curious to hear Coach Meyer's take on what will be a difficult cut at that position.
Yeah, well, I would expect at least a couple of guys are going to end up on the practice squad, but Cotton was outstanding today. Hammond has been a bit of a target hog in the preseason, right? I mean, he's made some plays. He's made some plays in practices that I've noticed, the occasions I've been out there. So it was nice to see Dorsett, though. I think that might have been a moment for him, as small as it was, one single catch to make the team, because Trevor Lawrence threw a pretty good ball in a spot over his outside shoulder where only Philip Dorsett would have the chance to catch it, and he made a nice body adjustment, and that went for 36 yards. And we know that this team is going to need all the field stretching that they can get, JP. They don't have a lot of pure speed. DJ Chark is going to help in that regard. The accuracy and the arm strength of Trevor Lawrence is going to help in that regard as well. But Philip Dorsett is a guy that has those natural gifts, and, never been able to put it all together for one reason or another. Health has often been an issue. It's been an issue throughout training camp, but he's healthy right now. And I got to believe, as early as he was playing there, and the fact that he came through on that play, showed the speed to get downfield, made the nice adjustment, I think Philip Dorsett's going to make this team.
Yeah, it feels like that way for sure. Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC. We're awaiting the first word with head coach Urban Meyer in Dallas after the Jaguars win. Final score today, Jaguars 34, Cowboys 14. Running back spot. Coming into the game, that was one of the big storylines this week. Travis Etienne is done for the year. But you saw a little bit of Carlos Hyde, not a lot early. James Robinson a little bit. You didn't want him out there all day long, but then Ogunbowale was out there for a little bit, had a couple of touches. But toward the end, Devine Ozigbo comes through with 68 yards on the ground on 11 carries and a score today, and that was a nice effort for a guy who was right there on the borderline of making this team.
Look, if you watch him, and I know you do in practice, he runs hard, right? Like, he doesn't leave it out there. He gets everything he can with every single rep that he takes. I would say if you're looking for a starting running back, Devine Ozigbo over Dario Ogunbowale all day, but they're looking for a situational role player in that running back room. So I think Ogunbowale has the edge for the third spot. I don't know how many they're going to keep and what contributions Ozigbo potentially can make on special teams. Not sure of that, but I got to believe it's James Robinson, Carlos Hyde, the 1-2 punch, Ozigbo on third downs, or as mixed in as a pass catcher, and then we'll see beyond that. But Ozigbo did everything he could today with his opportunities, averaged over 6 yards a carry with the touchdown, continually fought through first contact, didn't go down with the first man that met him, and just, again, put some good film out there today. And Urban Meyer loves those guys that play hard through the fourth quarter, right? So who knows? I'm not going to speak for the head coach. I have no idea where Ozigbo stands in his pecking order.
Looking for fighters, he said last week.
I mean, you got a bunch of that today. I mean, it just I feel like the pressure valve has been released a little bit, right? We're all sitting there like just, oh, my gosh, there's nothing to point to here. Now you go, okay, they get the W, which Urban Meyer psychologically is probably pretty happy about, but you saw your franchise quarterback look truly like a franchise quarterback for the first time, I thought. I thought the first two games he didn't play poorly, and I wasn't worried about him.
Yeah, there were a few throws in the first couple games. You're like, okay, that's why he's good.
Today, you saw him take command of an offense and march him down the field and really have fun doing it, and then you can envision, okay, imagine if we do have Chark and Jones in the mix here. You got the tight end involved today. We hadn't seen much of that with the first team, certainly, in the preseason. So O'Shaughnessy, 3 targets, 3 catches today. Let's how about a healthy offensive line to help him out too, right? Again, we'll go back. He's not going to have number one. He's not going to have Travis Etienne with him this year, but going to get a lot of pieces added to the mix that we did not have on the field today. And if Lawrence is, I believe, a transcendent talent, right? And he's not even scratching the surface of what he is going to be at this stage. But I think it's good for everybody, coaching staff included, for Trevor Lawrence, for his teammates, as I said, the fan base, everybody, just to say, okay, that's the guy we thought we were getting against backups or not backups. You know what we're supposed to do against backups, JP?
Do this.
Dominate.
Right.
Go up and down the field. So that's what he did, and I'm just thrilled. I can't wait to see him in regular season action. None of this matters now in 2 weeks, but nor does anything that happened in the first 2 games matter in terms of the results in a couple of weeks as well. So now I feel a lot better about heading to Houston. Just a little bit of momentum. Does that carry over? I don't know. But psychologically, I think they're going to have a spring in their step for the next week and a half of practice.
Yeah, curious what the next week schedule holds, in fact, because, the cuts come Tuesday. How much work on the field will they have this week? Are there rules? What's allowed? Not sure exactly in this really new period of an extra week before the regular season. Now, of course, the week of the Texans game will be a normal practice week, and they'll get back to work full. But curious how many times they'll be on the field this week ahead.
I would think at least 3 or 4. All right. Why not take advantage of it, right? Now, I don't know how you would, in a bye week, guys get time off. This is not a bye week situation. This is hard install game plan, studying the film of the Texans, everything we're going to use against them, everything we think they're going to do against us. I would think a team as young as this team is, the Jaguars, and the veteran holdovers probably have that terrible taste of 1-15 in their mouth, man. I would think these guys would want to be on the practice field, in the meeting rooms, cracking the get off to a 1-0 start and have this Jaguar team led by Urban Meyer and Trevor Lawrence come to Jacksonville for the opener, the debut of that duo, and people will be out of their minds. But to get there, you got to beat Houston. So let's maximize this practice time.
No doubt. Final score today in Dallas, Jaguars 34, Cowboys 14. We are awaiting the first word with head coach Urban Meyer after the Jaguars win. The Cowboys finish the preseason winless. The Jaguars finish at 1-2. And now it's on to Houston for week 1, a couple of weeks away.
Imagine if this is the regular season, if Urban Meyer is having this kind of time with his team after the first win, right? I'm sure they're having a little bit of like, hey, coach, congrats, breaking the ice, that kind of thing, right? That kind of moment. And they should, right? Enjoy it. I know it's only preseason, but it's still to be enjoyed. Imagine what it's going to be like if they are 1-0. We may be waiting a half hour to get Coach Meyer on if they beat the Texans right out of the gates.
Well, this is one of those two. We heard him with Jeff Lageman in the pregame and countdown to kickoff today. It is the last time that this group of 80 players will be together, right? And they've been through an offseason. Most of these guys have been here the entire offseason, installing the culture for the first time, installing the new offense, defense, everything going into it. So for Urban Meyer, it's his first NFL team experience. So it will be tough, I think, in the next couple of days when he has to say goodbye to some of these guys.
Yeah, the hard thing for Urban Meyer in a collegiate comparison would be telling a guy, you're not going to start. You're not going to be a starter. You're going to have to, like, okay, you're still wearing the letter. You're still part of the team. You still get to run out of the tunnel. And here, 27 players, poof, are going to be gone. Over a third of what you've got left at this point in time, just out the door. So, it is what it is, and that's life in the National Football League. But it is an adjustment that Urban Meyer is going to have to make because he's all about building the relationship with his players. He believes in that strongly, and he said it this offseason that he thinks no matter what level of football, he says, I know people say this doesn't work in the pros, but I believe your players have to play for the coach. Now, whether that's true or not, there are players that have a lot of different motivations. That's how he feels about it. So this is going to be something that is he's definitely taken to heart over the next couple of days. And I'm sure you're right. There's probably some of that being communicated that we appreciate everything you've laid out there. And just if you don't make it with us, you might make it on our practice squad. And if you don't make it on our practice squad, there's still 31 other teams out there looking. So if you put it all out on the line today, you got nothing to be ashamed of.
Still waiting on the first word with head coach Urban Meyer after the Jaguars win 34-14 the final. Jags over the Cowboys in preseason week 3. The touchdowns early, Lawrence to Pharaoh Cooper, an 18-yarder, and then Lawrence to Chenault, a 4-yarder. And there was the play on that drive, the Chenault touchdown drive, where he's dragging two guys about 12 yards down the field.
He's the best.
Impressive.
Look at that. He got his feet cut out from him. He was giving two guys the ride, 2 for the price of 1. Jumping on his back does not work. Okay, I don't know what you got to tie up the feet. You got to wrap the legs. But Laviska Shenault continues to be the toughest wide receiver, I think, in the league to take down one-on-one. Is just the first guy doesn't get him on the ground. And I mean, we've talked about this since the beginning of last season, JP. Usually, a lot of times, it's whistle for forward progress because 2 or 3 guys have him stacked up, but they still can't bring him down. So he was fired up, man. It's good to get him in the end zone as well. And again, if you're Dallas and you're thinking, you're not game planning hardcore, but that's the biggest threat you've got to deal with in the passing game. And despite that, Trevor Lawrence was able to connect with him 3 times there. And once you get Chark and Jones out there, you get the full complement of guys. If this line is blocking the way we hope they're able to, Trevor Lawrence, going to spread the ball around. He's going to make it very tough. You're not going to be able to key on any one of these guys. I think they may not have a true alpha number 1 wide receiver, but they've got maybe 3 high-end 2s, if you want to look at it that way. And you can win a lot of football games with that combination. You got to have a lot of other things in place as well, but let's keep those 3 healthy, man, and I think they can make some noise this year.
The early touchdown was to Pharaoh Cooper, one of 2 catches for Cooper today, and it was good to see him get a little play certainly early in this game.
Yeah, it was interesting, right, because he played so early on offense, and he's still out there late in the second half as a return guy because he's got that ability, and he's been a really good return man in his time. Didn't see any of Jamal Agnew today as they're going to keep him under wraps. I mean, I think they have something special in Jamal Agnew as a return specialist and maybe an occasional kind of mix him into the offense in like 4 wide receiver sets, but that's not going to be his primary focus here. I don't know if Pharaoh Cooper has a great chance to make this team, but the fact that he was playing early, right, playing ahead of Colin Johnson, for instance, and making an impact on the field, I'm not going to write him off JP, as at least a guy that could stick around in the practice squad. And when they picked him up, I thought it's kind of an interesting signing because there's a lot of redundancy to what he brought to the table. But he's made plays when given the opportunity. And, we'll leave that in the hands of the coaching staff at this point.
Yeah, that's going to be one to watch here in the coming days to see what the Jaguars do at wide receiver. And that's been a talking point all training camp. Even with a couple guys down now, Chark out, he should be ready for week 1, it sounds like, coming off a hairline fracture in the middle finger on his right hand. And Marvin Jones last week banged up his shoulder a bit, an AC sprain. Just holding him out today. He didn't dress for this game today, but hopefully he'll be back and ready for week 1, so you'll have your full assortment, full arsenal at wide receiver in week 1 against the Houston Texans. That's the hope, at least. Yes.
I'm sorry. Well, I just wanted to mention Laquan Treadwell as well.
That's right.
Who early on in camp had been a bit of a standout, and I felt like kind of faded into the background a little bit, but played tough today and, had the touchdown reception in the second half, caught both of his targets for 14 yards. So, again, doing what he can, and came up with a big special teams tackle as well, right, on a punt return, which guy like that, not known for his speed, got downfield pretty well and made a solid tackle, and, that may be what separates whoever gets that 5th wide receiver spot, the non-Jamal Agnew last spot in the wide receiver core.
Final score in Dallas, 34-14. Jaguars over the Cowboys, awaiting the first word with head coach Urban Meyer after the Jaguars win in preseason week 3. The starting quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, today, 11 of 12 passing, 139 yards, 2 touchdown passes, a 154.5 rating. And that's about as good as you can look in a moment where they had been looking for some kind of consistency, some kind of positivity on offense with the starting group. And even with 4 offensive linemen out today and the receivers down, they found a little bit. Now they're going against the Dallas number 2 defense,
sure,
it feels like. But to have some success and finally find pay dirt for the first time, that's a big step, I think, for this group, at least psychologically.
Well, I think they were smart as well, the way they designed a lot of these plays, get the ball out of Trevor's hands quickly on a couple of them, and they rolled the pocket on at least one occasion, try to keep him out of trouble. He did have that one where he drew the 15-yard unsportsmanlike for unnecessary roughness, but you hate to see that because, as the guys alluded to, very similar to the Nick Foles play, right? It really was, where a guy just bear hugs you and lands with his full body weight on you. Chris Jones maybe a little bit bigger of a guy than the guy who tackled Trevor today. Whatever the case, Trevor's a sturdy guy. I mean, he's not some little wallflower, but, man, you just hold your breath when you take any kind of hit to your quarterback in the preseason. So we've escaped that. C.J. Beathard took a shot as well as he was delivering a ball that led to the interception because he could not get his arm through the pass, but he seemed to be okay. I think Chris Claybrook's maybe the one guy you worry about a little bit. Seemed to bang up his hip early on in the game, and we were talking about him in the preseason or the pregame, JP. You look at the numbers at the cornerback position, I think he had a decent chance to be the 6th corner on this football team because he does have that speed. He can make an impact on special teams. So you hope for his sake that he's able to, at least have a fighting chance based on his productivity, and that whatever the extent of this injury that he suffered today isn't the thing that would keep him off the 53.
Final score 34-14, and the Jaguars get a win in preseason week 3. The backup quarterback situation, you mentioned Beathard, 5 of 10 passing, 86 yards, threw an interception today, but then Jake Luton comes through at the tail end of the game with some big-time numbers as well. Time for the first word with head coach Urban Meyer, joining us from AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Coach, you found some offensive rhythm today. The defense played well. That was a full team win, and I think you found some fighters again in the fourth quarter too.
Yeah, we did, and I was really impressed with the offense line. There was a conversation yesterday about not playing Trevor. We had 5 of our top 6 linemen not go today. And, Will Richardson, we moved him to guard, never really practiced much at guard. We had 2 guys we brought off the street just yesterday in Jermaine and Badera. I mean, they practiced one time. So just really, that's where it all starts. We all know that on offense. You protect the quarterback, let him play a little bit, and that's what we did.
At what point did you decide to start Trevor, or was there really a question in your mind, and when did you make that decision?
I think when we Will Richardson has been one of our most improved players, and when we moved him to guard, we kind of felt that Walker Little has been playing well enough to hang in there. Big T at left guard, he's been playing decent in practice. And then obviously Juwan Taylor, and Shatley, those guys are solid guys. So we're just, once we, I made that decision, and there are a lot of angst about that, but he has to play.
And play he did, by the way, 11 of 12 passing, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns for Trevor Lawrence today. We saw your embrace with him on the sideline after you took him out of the game, and I'm sure it's just comforting for both of you guys for him to have success today.
Yeah, that's the most unique position in all of sport, when I say not just football, I think in all of sport, and that's, lack of if you lose confidence in that position, sometimes you lose careers, and he had a lot of confidence today.
Laviska Shenault showed up a few times today, showed his strength, nearly carrying 2 guys into the end zone, down inside the red zone there, and then caught a touchdown pass today too. That's a couple of flashes of what he can be for your offense. Yeah,
he's a second-year guy, and I was really disappointed actually the first couple. The first game was all right, second game not very good. He looked heavy-legged, and we're just really challenging him to take care of himself because we do practice. The one thing is we're going to practice hard here always, and I felt him today. We actually tried to get him the ball a few times before we got him out of the game.
Some other receivers had some big days today too, Coach. Dorsett, Cooper, Treadwell, Cotton, Hammond all stood out. How difficult is the cut going to be at that position at wide receiver?
Well, Devin Smith comes in and gave us, he played for me at Ohio State, and he was one of the best deep ball guys I've had. And the one thing we have not done is pushed it down the field. And that was a mandate today that get that thing, we dialed it up early on. Dorsett made a play. We kept trying to get Devin, and they kept taking the coverage away. And then we finally got it, and he laid out and made a great catch.
Another solid day on defense. You had the starting group out there a good bit early, and another pretty decent day against the run.
Yeah, they've been stout. That's our strength so far in the preseason. But the back end starting to play. I thought C.J. Henderson really played well. You get Shaq, and Tyson did not play today, and Josh Allen didn't play today. But our defense, there's a lot of positives.
One final thought with you. What's your final message to this group of 80? It's the last chance you're going to have all this group together.
Yeah, that was a Wingard. We called out this offense, defense, and special team player of the game, and he said that. And it really hit me right in the chest when he said that. This will be the last time this team's all together. I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I said, "Oh shit, that's right." I mean, we're going to make some changes, but it's going to be hard because there's a lot of guys that done exactly what we asked.
Well done, Coach. Congrats on the win. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Head coach Urban Meyer out of here after the Jaguars get the win. Jaguars postgame is presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're back in a moment with the Baptist Health Locker Room Report. Jags win in preseason week 3, 34-14 over the Cowboys, and it's Jaguars postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Hi, I'm Urban Meyer, head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Take any questions from you guys.
Just your overall assessment, Coach.
I just told the most impressive group was the O-line. 5 of our top 6 didn't play, and there was a point yesterday, even late yesterday, well, should we play Trevor or not? And that was, my gosh, you take the first overall pick, and then Will Richardson, who has been really arguably one of our most improved players, we moved him to right guard, and basically all he did is have walkthrough. We took 2 guys that were recently cut, Badera and Jermaine. And I mean, first time I'm shaking their hand is a pregame meal. And that's a new one. But they're good guys. They played. Walker Little played really well. Shatley's a stud. He hangs in there. Juwan Taylor. But everyone else was out. And but that was the most impressive thing that I saw offensive line protect our guys, and we had to let the QB play.
How important was it to get the rhythm you were looking for?
Obviously, the obvious is true, but the reality is, I don't want to take away from W, and they played well, but Dallas, didn't play a lot of their guys, and they played very vanilla on defense, as we did. But confidence, that's the most unique position in all of sport, and getting a little bit of a rhythm. We made that trade, and we're going with him, and he did not disappoint.
It looked like you maneuvered more in the shotgun, more bubble screens, more rollouts for Trevor. Was that all designed to get him comfortable today?
Yeah, it's just something, that obviously that's what he did in college. And we're going to be, I like the rhythm. I like the fact on 3rd down and 4 we took a shot. I like to be more aggressive than we've been in the first few weeks, and I thought Bev did a great job. But we're going to do what that player does well.
How big was Devon Hamilton? How important is he to what you're doing? He was really playing well at the end of last year before he got hurt. It looks like he's taking it to another level.
Yeah, it's all about foot quickness, and he's a powerful, powerful man. I'd like to compliment the whole defensive front. That's been 3 weeks in a row. We've won the line of scrimmage. But Devon, he's a big part of this defense. And Joe Cullen, the style of defense we play, we want big, thick cats that can control line of scrimmage, and he's a big part of that. So is Malcolm.
How beneficial do you think it will be for Trevor to have had that performance going into week 1?
I'd be a half-empty guy, but I was kind of fearful, like, Mike, what if we go again? But the one thing about Trevor, he's played decent, all 3 games. The preseason was fairly new to me, and I learned along the way. So I would judge our preseason. It's a success right now. There's a lot of energy in the locker room. We got 2 weeks to get the strongest version of ourselves. I expect they're going to have 4 days off this week. That's also new to me. So we got to be in great, if you do those 4 days right, and I'm not talking lay on your butt, but get strong, and we can come back stronger than you were before training camp, which my expectations are that.
Urban, talk about how you felt, what you would feel like coming out of this whole month of August, but how do you feel? Does it meet your expectation of entering the regular season?
Today solved a lot of problems where you just feel, last week we felt awful walking off the field, especially in the first half. But you feel good now, and, you don't want to overdo it, but I'm overdoing it. We're going to enjoy a win and go home and get ready to play one that's going to count in the win-loss column.
Better day for the specialists today?
Much better day today. Lambeau did really. He had he's been working. The one thing about Josh Lambeau is now I've been around kickers. That's as serious a kicker I've been around. He wants to be great. He's had some great years, pulling for him hard. And when he thumps it, I told him the last 3 I didn't even watch it. I just listened to the ball because when he follows through and hits that thing, he's outstanding.
Talk about being
Cook was much better. He didn't play as well last week. He was much better. I expect him to be one of the best in the league.
How quickly did the Gardner trade come together, and your thoughts on that happening?
Yeah, that was tough, man. That was he became. I was a little choked up when I saw him in that office, and I walk in, and I didn't know him at all. It didn't start off on the best of terms because I'm not sure how much he wanted to be here. And I get it. First overall pick, and he's a competitive maniac, that guy. And I get it. And I told him the rest of his life, count me as a big fan because he's what you want. He's a warrior. He's a competitor.
We weren't sure what the preseason was going to be like. The 3rd preseason game was generally more of a dress rehearsal. So did you get enough from the preseason? Is 3 games the right number? Would you rather have 1 more to get your team?
I just don't have much to, I've never done this before. But I feel good about, I think, the 5 or 6 linemen scared me. And then our top 2 receivers didn't play with Marvin and with Shark. Shark's got to get some playing time in practice here coming up. And the defense, we stayed relatively healthy, but we got, Josh Allen didn't. I don't think he played it. I think he played week 1. But biggest thing is health, and I think we're getting out of this thing healthy.
You were unhappy with the perimeter blocking the other night. Were you happier today? It seemed like Trevor had a few more easy throws that gained yards.
Yeah, that was a tough week for the wideouts, and we're very transparent in our organization, and it was not good against New Orleans. But I could tell when I went and talked to them after the game, they were bowed up on me a little bit, and they said they did much better.
How hard is this next couple of days for you, and how hard of a cut will it be? Do you already have a plan of who might make it, who might not?
Yeah, we've been every off day we have probably longer meetings than most. I have some new coach. I have a guy named Chris Ash, Charlie Strong. You have some guys that are college guys that are learning. Our safety room. All those guys are playing well. And then Tosh got, that defensive line, you got your first, but there's a group of players in there that are playing very well. And then the receivers, today, it's going to be tough. Like if you're an insubordinate guy or just kind of a pain in the rear end, I've never mind moving those guys on, but I don't have that. We don't have that in that locker room, so it's going to be tough.
Did the operation, the smoothness of the offensive operation, was that Trevor having all the first team reps, all that, or was it not having to bring people in and out because you're trying to look at different?
No, you know what it was, Andy? It was all second and short. You know, when you're second to football, offensive football is all about manageable situations. 2nd and 10 is awful. You make the call. It's not. The headsets are quiet. You get 2nd and 2, and a lot of those little short passes, 2nd and 2, everybody, you know, you have to tell everybody to quiet down on the headset because everybody's got ideas. So you're getting, to me, the first down of every drive is so essential. You know, you just look at, usually I think it's a 20% success rate when you're 2nd and long, get a first down. 2nd and 5 and less, it's about 80%. So that first down is so important. And you look at New Orleans, we were in 2nd and long the entire night. And field position, we were in bad field position.
Let's take 2 more. We're good? 3 quarterbacks on your roster. It's Jake Luton.
Boy, Jake did good there. He got us out of some bad situations. I thought he did really well. C.J. Beathard has played really. I think he got dinged a little bit. He's fine. But if 3 will be on the roster, if that's what you're asking me.
Yeah. Can you get Jake Luton on the roster? Played well enough to.
Yeah, I mean, certainly in the mix. Thanks, guys.
That trust. That's the focus of everybody who works here at Farah and Farah. How they can benefit the client today. Farah and Farah, here for you, here for good. Jacksonville.
Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC continues. Final score, Jaguars 34, Cowboys 14. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey. Farrell Cooper joined us a moment ago. Urban Meyer, the first word with the head coach.
Yes.
After the win today. Time now for a standout performance today. This is not the player of the game. That's coming up a little bit later, but we mentioned it to Urban. Obviously, Laviska Shenault had some play early in this game. 3 targets, 3 catches, 33 yards, and a touchdown. But I think the real bright moment for him and maybe this offense early in the game, besides Trevor playing well, was his catch and run where he's dragging defenders down the field. We always kind of hear about it, and we've seen this before, where he's a physical type receiver. He doesn't shy away from contact and, in fact, goes after it a lot of times and rarely touches the ground.
Important to get into a rhythm today, Trevor. Is that big?
Yeah, no, always is. Felt great out there, obviously. I think we just executed a lot better than we have the past 2 games, so it was just great to see. It's a good feeling. A lot better feeling coming in the locker room today as opposed to this time last week. So just one step in the right direction. Got to keep getting better. Now they're going to count for real. So just putting everything we have into getting ready for Houston. But it was a great, builds a lot of confidence going into the season. It's nice to finish the preseason with a game like that.
We talked a lot about getting you into a tempo, not just you, the offense in general.
Yeah.
And you just mentioned that he did a lot of things with you today that you did in college. How much of an impact did it make to be in the shotgun, the bubble screens, and the rollouts?
I felt good. I thought we had a good game plan. I mean, honestly, it's all about execution, though. Like I said, I think we had a good game plan last week, too. We just didn't execute it. So it's easy as someone from the outside to see a game and, we don't play that great or we don't execute it. It's going to make it look like maybe we're not running the right scheme or whatever, but it's all about execution. It doesn't matter what you run. If everybody's on the same page and everybody knows it, you're going to play well. So we felt that today. We were all on the same page. We communicated well. We kept it simple. And then for me, just being accurate, making quick decisions, getting the ball out of my hand, and letting our guys make plays, and that was the difference. Run game was great too, so it was awesome.
Urban said there was serious question about whether they'd play you today because of how many offensive linemen were out. How much did they communicate to you about that, about what the circumstances were going to be?
Yeah, we talked about it. At the end of the day, we felt good with the 5 that we were running out there. You know, it's obviously it wasn't our starting 5, but those guys have been busting their tail and they were ready. And in practice, they were ready. Had a good week, and you know, I felt good with it. And we had a good plan to where, you know, we did take some shots, but also getting the ball out of my hand, staying on the move. That helped a lot. Run game was great. Like I said, I thought we just came out and executed well, and that always feels good.
How glad are you that you got a chance to actually feel it work before the real game started?
No, it feels great. Like I said, just building confidence for our whole team, just to show what we can do when we execute. Obviously, it'll change a little bit as the season gets started. Game 1 in Houston be a little bit different, but it's still real football. Like, they're keeping score. Everybody's out there trying to win that game, and it felt good just to be clean, execute, stay ahead of the chains. Really had, you know, I played 3 drives, and the guys that came in after played great too. But we were 2 for 3 for touchdowns in those drives, and even the second drive where we punted, we drove the ball pretty well. And you know, 3rd down, I probably could have made a better decision and got the 1st down, but still, we pinned them inside the 5. It was all about field position too.
Urban said the success on 1st down is what caused the crispness of the offense. But what's that like when play comes in, you call it, you're running it, you're not having to make a ton of adjustments, and you just get out there and play?
Yeah, obviously that's ideal. You know, when the call comes in, you want to keep it on and be able to run with it and feel good about it. But there's some situations where you have to check. You got to, you know, change your protection. You got to check into something else. You know, that happens. Didn't happen a ton this game while I was in there. Some of the guys that came in later in the game did a great job of just being able to check and flip things around, and did an awesome job. But no, it's always a good feeling when it's clicking and we're making the plays, and when the first progression's coming open a lot, and when we're getting through the progressions fast. It's great.
What's your expectation about how much more challenging it'll be for you in the regular season games when teams are game planning against you?
Definitely more challenging. Obviously, they're going to be really, like in preseason, it's hard because you got the big roster and everyone's trying to, you know, play different guys and see who can do what, and you're evaluating talent, and you're not necessarily always doing everything you can to win that game because you want to see guys play and how they do. So obviously that changes in the regular season. So you'll see I'm sure a lot of changes week to week, people game planning for what you do well, what you don't do well, and scheming you up. So just got to be ready for that. And then every week too, like their number ones are going to be running out there. So, but at the end of the day, it's the same game. You got to execute. Like I said, I feel confident that if we're prepared and we execute, you know, we can play with anybody.
You've alluded to this before, but you add guys during a week. That didn't happen in college. Now you lose a bunch of guys. And even yesterday, you guys lost somebody in your quarterback room with the Gardner trade. How is all that dynamic of what's going on at this level?
It's different. I'm not used to it. You know, you build relationships with guys, and it just sucks, you know, seeing guys go. It's just the nature of the business. You can't keep everybody, and guys, you know, there's certain situations that are better for them and the team. You just never know. But I mean, that's just part of it. You got to keep going, and the team that you do have, you got to make the most of it. But yeah, so we had a receiver come in, Devin Smith, today. I think he got here yesterday and dove and made that like 60-yard catch I think it was in the first half. I mean, just stuff like that is crazy. He just got here, goes out there, runs a go, catches a 60-yard pass. Like, stuff like that is just so weird. You don't get used to it. But I really like the group we have. It sucks that we got to cut the team down. I don't know. Obviously, I don't make those decisions. I'm glad I don't, because we got a lot of guys that deserve to be on this team, and it's just tough. So we'll see how that goes.
How's the relationship with Gardner? Do you think he lands in a good spot now? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, me and Gardner had a really good relationship. He's always treated me really well since I've gotten here, helped me as much as he could, and we just had a really transparent relationship. We would talk about things, and I'll always be rooting for him. He's a great player, super smart. I've learned a ton from him, and I don't really know about the details of the situation in Philly, so I can't really know if that's a good spot or not, but I know wherever he goes, he's going to make the most of his opportunities. So I'm excited to watch him. You know, I'm going to miss him. He's a great teammate, so but I'm excited for him. I'm excited for him to get an opportunity.
Bevel and Shadi have coached in the league a long time, a lot of different really good quarterbacks, none who really fit your physical dimensions. How much of this offense is what they came here with, and how much of it has been created for you?
I think it's a good mix. Obviously, they've both had really great coaching careers and have had a lot of success with different quarterbacks. So you take things from that, and they have their systems. And Coach Bev, and then Coach Shoddy has his thoughts, and they're kind of intertwined in the system as well. And then for me, playing in the spread, you mix in some spread game, and just so I can feel a little bit more comfortable, get the ball in space, all those things that really hasn't been that big in the NFL. Besides the past few years, you see the Cardinals doing it a lot and some other teams, but it's been awesome. I think they've done a good job of gelling everything together and trying to put us in the best situation. And I know I'm like I'm saying the same thing over and again, but it's about executing. Like, I thought we had a good plan last week and just didn't execute it. So every week, that's the challenge, right?
Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all.
Goal from Josh Lambo, and that made it 17-7. That was the halftime score as Dallas missed a field goal at the final gun before halftime. On to the second half now, second drive of the second half. Jake Luton is in at quarterback.
How's it going, everybody?
James, what clicked with the offense this game? Coach Meyer kept telling us we need to start fast, we need to be more efficient. Why did it work so well today?
Well, I think we've been heading in the right direction. I know it hasn't always been seen in the preseason, but I think most people understand that preseason is an odd time for offenses where you're only showing so much. You're protecting people from injury. You have people getting injured in camp. It can just be a difficult time for continuity within an offense. And I've been a part of some playoff teams that went 0-4 in preseason, and I've been part of teams that were losing teams that went 4-0 in preseason. So to me, it's a tough thing to judge. As long as you trust that we have the right system in place and the right mechanisms to make sure it's heading in the right direction. I think everybody believed that. So I think we just kept their head down, kept focused, and kept getting better, and that was the key.
Where's Trevor? As you head to the regular season, where do you see the rookie quarterback being? Is he ready for it?
Of course. Obviously, I'm not going to speak for Trevor. I'm not going to speak about what his capabilities are. I don't think that's my position to judge. But everything I've seen as him as a person and a player, I have no doubt that he's prepared and ready to lead our team.
What is it in the huddle that, you talked on the preseason broadcast about what he brings to the huddle and the spark and just Trevor Lawrence. Can you elaborate on what he represents when you're on the field? You've been here when there hasn't been as good a quarterback play, just to be quite frank with you. This is the best one you've seen.
I'll say one thing that's unique about Trevor, for being the first overall pick, he's extremely humble. He's confident but not cocky. He's a person who understands the ups and downs of players who aren't necessarily, starters or who are role players. To me, he's extremely down to earth for a person who's, for a lot of people, bigger than life. For our franchise, he's the face of our franchise. So I think that's a unique trait about him that I didn't expect, that blew me away when I first got to know him. He's just a good person, and he cares just like anybody else. And obviously, he's extremely talented. And it's our job as an offense to come around, use his personality for the better for us.
Urban was brought in to turn things around completely. You were here last year for 1-15. How far has it been turned around? How far is that now? Obviously, you got to see on the field, but you know what the locker room is like. How far has he gotten?
Well, since the first time we got together as an offense in OTAs, it was very quickly that I saw that things were heading in the right direction. Culture-wise, the buy-in is, in a year with uncertainty because of COVID and a lot of teams not having, big numbers at OTAs, we were full. And we were people not just there just to be there, we wanted to be there. And that was, 100% was him. That was all Coach Meyer. And as time went on, he's a winner. He knows how to push the right buttons. He knows how to shape us in the right direction. And I think everybody who's been a part of this new face of the franchise has seen that since day one. Now it's a process. The NFL is different than college. It's a lot longer. There's ups and downs to it. I've been fortunate to be part of good teams and bad teams, and to say we're going to win every game is just not a realistic expectation. Now that's our plan. We'll go into every game thinking that, But that's just not. There's ups and downs to the season, and it's our job as players to weather that better than we have before. And I think now with the leadership we have with Coach Meyer and Trevor, I think we're heading in that right direction.
James, where's your game? You've been around here a bit now. You've been in the league a bit, and they're going to need you, obviously, to produce from a pass catching standpoint. How do you feel about where you're at going into the season?
Well, I feel like I'm in the best position, the best shape I've ever been in my life. As a player, I thought I was starting to hit my stride for the first time in my pro career in 2019, and obviously they got cut down. Last year was a grind to fight back to getting healthy. This year I feel like I'm the healthiest I've been. I appreciate Coach Meyer in some sense because he went back. He didn't just look at last year's film. He went back and saw my film in 2019 and saw I think where I was trending and what I was capable of doing. And he didn't try to change me and make me a 265-pound blocking tight end or make me something that I'm not. He saw some of the skill sets that I had and said, hey, we can use you if you just be the best you. And that I haven't told him enough, but I thank him a lot for that, for just appreciating me for what type of player I am and what I can do. And for me, all I see myself as somebody who could just be a constant help, not just for our offense, but for Trevor. Third downs, red zone, what a true tight end needs to be for an efficient offense is just be reliable at all times. And that's just what my plan is every week in, week out to be able to do for our offense.
Thanks, James.
Thank you, guys.
Ball a bit this preseason, but weren't able to come away with any takeaways. So takeaways is a big thing. But overall, we've been doing really good.
Why do you think you guys have been effective so far in these games against the run, and also very few, I'm sure there are some, but missed tackles? Why is that? Because that's been an issue, obviously, the last couple of seasons.
Just really effort and detail in practice. I know as far as the front seven, it's a little bit different as opposed to years past, and running that defense with that under front is pretty good against the run. So it's going to be pretty tough to run the ball on us. And definitely just them reps in practice of they're not live reps, but just good reps of tackling, and it's an emphasis every single day. So just going through those drills day in and day out has helped us be good this preseason.
Secondary is almost completely overhauled. I mean, how far along are you guys, would you say, in your communication? Your ability to understand what each other's doing when there's so many new faces?
It's good. I mean, it's a lot of different faces, but the communication is definitely there. It started in OTAs, and we've just been on the details of everything. Paying attention to in the meetings has helped us as well, kind of coming together a lot more. And just going through communication on our own has helped us as well.
Is there one player in that group that, I don't want to say become the leader, but who become a leader? Charges forward?
I would say the veterans, so just me, Shaq, Rayshawn, Sidney's not a rookie. He's going into year 5. Trey Herndon, he's in year 4. So we got a good mixture of youth, but also some veterans that have had quite a few snaps. So not to say we've been around the block before, but we have, and that just helps with bringing younger guys along, and the communication is just there from the start.
How big of a deal was it to go into the regular season with a win? I know it's only preseason, but is it kind of a weight off the chest that you're now going forward with momentum?
It's big. You never take any win for granted. It's so hard to win a game in this league, preseason or not. So definitely just to get a W on the board feels good. The vibe is different. The energy is different. The mindset will be different. So it was definitely good to get a win.
All right, thanks, Jared.
Already. Y'all have a good day.
Drive one today. When equipped with available LED headlamps based on AutoSource Incorporated data obtained on 10520.
Jaguars postgame continues. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Jaguars radio network. Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC continues. Jaguars 34, Cowboys 14 in preseason week 3. And now 2 weeks away from the regular season opener, the Jaguars and the Houston Texans. Now time for the Jaguars Radio Network Player of the Game voting. I get a vote. Mike gets a vote. Tony Smith will get a vote and a half today in lieu of Fred Taylor. I think this one's pretty simple, Mike. Who you got?
Wait, Linda Fortunato got a vote last week.
Linda
as well.
gets 2 votes today.
2 votes today. All right. See if we can. This will be the record-setting vote total for Trevor Lawrence.
I feel like Linda's and I's votes really haven't counted the last couple of weeks. I know we're filling
you
in
could
for
look.
Fred
You guys
Taylor.
have 3.5 between you. Go divine a Zigbo and it'll count. All right.
I guess we could.
You could.
You could make a statement today.
I mean, look. In a sense, JP, I almost want to save Trevor Lawrence. We have a feeling he's probably going to win a lot of these over his career. Maybe save one till it really counts. But they needed him. We wanted him. Whether they needed it or not, we all wanted to see him come out, have some success. He was, in many ways, the first-team offense today with his, a couple wide receivers out, with the 4/5 of the offensive line not playing in front of him. And he got some help from the guys who were playing along with him. 11 out of 12 for 139, 2 touchdowns. Quarterback rating over 150. Yes, it's Trevor Lawrence as your Jaguar Radio Network Player of the Game. My vote, anyway.
I will vote the same way for the same reasons, Tony Smith.
With an honorable mention to Cotton Jr., I will go with Trevor Lawrence.
That's a good one.
Noted. Linda, I'm sure you're the same way. Linda Fortunato, 2 votes for Trevor Lawrence. It's a
2
new
for 5.5 votes.
It's a new league record.
Woo! It's a new Jaguar Radio Network record.
Trevor Lawrence, what a day. 11 of 12, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, a 154.5 rating, and he almost didn't play, as Urban Meyer said.
I think that was legit, man. We had that discussion in the pregame. I mean, there were reasons. They said ultimately we feel like he needs the work, needs to get out there. I think now that we know the outcome, we're all like, heck yeah, coach, good call, right? I mean,
not when the guy was laying on top of him, though.
This is why they pay Urban Meyer the big money. And if he gets hurt, we're all going, coach, ridiculous decision. What are you thinking? But no, excellent call in hindsight, Coach Urban Meyer, and excellent performance by Trevor Lawrence.
If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, look no further than Ford F-150, loaded with impressive capability and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between. This truck makes tough look easy. No wonder it's the official truck of the NFL and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars. The Baptist Health Injury Report when we return, and then we'll get you ready for week number 1 in the regular season. Jaguars win in preseason week 3, and it's Jaguars postgame on Jaguars Radio.
When it comes to water, choose our team, the winning team. Choose CGC Water Treatment. CGC Water Treatment works, and it works for DG too, former Jags QB, David Garrard.
If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Discover the Kinetico difference.
Call CGC Water Treatment at 844-CGC-JAGS or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Kinetico dealers.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
How far should we go? When it comes to the health of children, we will stop at nothing, focusing on prevention as much as cures. Working with community leaders, educators, policymakers to make every child's world a place for them to thrive. Going to the nth degree and beyond. Nemours Children's Health, well beyond medicine. Join the journey at nemours.org/beyond.
It's been around longer than your quarterback. When you put it on, everyone knows it's game time. So legendary, it deserves its own Hall of Fame. Members-only jackets, undeniable quality and style for over 45 years. Scratch and claw your way over to membersonly.com. Get ready for football season with a jacket that can only be summed up in one word: iconic. Use discount code Jaguars at checkout for 35% off on all iconic racer jackets. Members only. When you put it on, something happens.
Have you painted yourself for game day and dyed your pet's fur to match?
Do you bleed your team's colors and deck your pet out in team gear? Do you plan game day watch parties for fellow sports lovers and their beloved pets? Do you find yourself nodding yes while listening to this with your four-legged friend? Then you are a rare breed. You are a pet fanatic, equal parts pet obsessed and die-hard sports fan. At Pet Paradise, they're crazy about pets too. That's why pet fanatics take their pets to Pet Paradise, the official pet care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So if you haven't brought your pet in to see them yet, the only real question is, what are you waiting for? Pet Paradise. It's a new day in pet care.
Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC continues after a Jaguars win in preseason week number 3, 34-14 over the Cowboys. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey. And time now for the Baptist Health Injury Report. Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good. Chris Claybrooks came out of the game at one point with kind of holding his right hip, went back in on special teams. We saw him on the sideline a little later. That of today, I think, was about the only one that stood out of note in this game today. And, of course, Mike, we know about all the other guys that were held out today. Marvin Jones Jr. with a shoulder issue or AC sprain. They're hoping he'll be ready for week 1. The offensive line, 4 out of the 5 guys didn't play today for a various number of reasons. Linder with a knee issue, a very minor. Andrew Norwell with an elbow, same thing, minor. Cam Robinson was dressed today but was just held out. He turned his ankle last week, and then A.J. Cann is on the COVID-19 list. Josh Allen on defense is on the COVID-19 list as well. So that's the extent of it right now. Tyson Campbell was out today. That's right. Trey Herndon was out today also, who's been battling through some injury stuff. So they're hoping this 2-week window, maybe they can heal up a bit and get ready.
Yeah, let's not get anybody else on the COVID-19 list. That'd be great. Particularly anybody who happens to be unvaccinated because that's a 10-day minimum stay on there. So we don't want anybody missing the opener for any reason. But, yeah, look, it's tough for Chris Claybrooks. It was good that he was able to get back out there, but he was on the bike. You could see him trying to get that loose in the second half a little bit. So you hope for his sake that this is not going to be an impediment to making the 53. I'm not guaranteeing him a spot there, but I think he's got a decent chance with the speed element he brings. He can play some corner for you in a pinch and obviously can flourish as a kick returner as well. So, but you're right, JP. I mean, no offense to Chris Claybrooks. Your frontline guys, for the most part, stayed healthy today, and that's what you're trying to accomplish as much as anything.
The Jaguars Game Day radio broadcast is presented by ViStar Credit Union. We're back in a moment with a preview of Week 1. The Jaguars and the Houston Texans, 2 weeks away. And this is Jaguars postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk, checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk, checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
If something's been hurting, aching, or bothering you, don't ignore it any longer. It's time to take care of your health again. It's time to make an appointment with a Baptist Health primary care doctor or specialist. Call 904-202-4U to schedule a virtual visit or see a doctor in person at a Baptist Health location. The time for better health is here. Call 904-202-4YOU or visit getbetterjacks.com.
Veterans, you may have earned a variety of VA benefits.
Did you know VA can help you further your education and pursue professional training? The Home Loan Guarantee Program can help you buy, repair, or adapt a home. VA provides housing support if you find yourself homeless or at risk of homelessness. And don't forget world-class health care. Learn more about these and other VA benefits. Visit choose.va.gov.
Jaguars postgame is presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jags winning today. They knock off the Cowboys 34-14. Trevor Lawrence looked good. The offense found some rhythm. They were missing some pieces in the offensive line and some skill positions today. The defense was solid. Not spectacular, not terrible, but a solid day from the defense today with a starting group, especially early against the Cowboys' backup team today. So now it's over. Preseason's done. The cuts will come down on Tuesday to 53. They'll figure out the practice squad after that. 16 players go on there. 2 weeks away from today, at about this time, we'll be wrapping up postgame of Week 1.
Victory
the
Sunday.
Jaguars and the Houston Texans at NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas. Can't wait.
I can't either now. You know, like I was going to be eagerly anticipating the debut of Trevor Lawrence regardless, but now you feel you have a little more bounce in your step that he had some success today. Look, we don't know how good this team is going to be or not going to be, right? It's not like they played against Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper out there today. So, you know, take it all with a grain of salt. But, again, mission accomplished on having Trevor Lawrence have some success, clicking it, sticking it in the end zone a couple of times, you know, very successful quarter plus that he played. And, you know, again, mostly nobody else added to the injury report. You know, let's get that offensive line intact, ready to go. Let's unleash James Robinson to the tune of 20 carries and another handful of catches out of the backfield, you know, mix in a little Carlos Hyde. This team wants to run the ball. If they can have some success running it, and Trevor Lawrence can operate with some good play action, I mean, then you can really open up some things. JP, I think the thing is when you watch him play, and we're talking about Trevor Lawrence here, is there's not a throw he can't make, right? I mean, he sails it down the field, and it's like not like, oh, he got that one in there. It's like, yep, he got that one in there because he's got that kind of arm, man. He just, you know, he threw that one to Dorsett, and it's just effortless with a flick of the wrist. He's just firing that thing 36 yards downfield, probably about 40 from where he threw it, whatever the case. But, you know, he's got a lot more than that in the tank, and that's why he's been proclaimed as the can't-miss number one guy. He'll have some misses, but he's got all the raw ability. He's got more raw ability than any Jaguar quarterback's ever had. And that's, you know, apologies to Mark Brunell, who was obviously he's a very accomplished quarterback. Love David Garrard, what he was able to do for this team. Blaine Gabbert had some physical traits that were hard to match, but in terms of the total package of potential, Trevor Lawrence is way at the top, and now he's got to fulfill it. He's got to live up to it. It's not just him. He's got a lot of teammates that are going to try to help him get there, but they can all circle September 12th now, set their sights on the Texans, and let's go get a Division W and set the stage for an amazing scene for the Urban Meyer Trevor Lawrence home debut as Jaguars.
It would all be awesome.
I think it's now you feel like it's a lot more possible now. You know, it was always possible. They're going to play that game regardless of whether Trevor played today or not.
Hadn't seen it yet until today.
It's nice to, you know, like I want to see it. I got to see it. I'm sure a lot of Jaguar fans are breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief today.
For those on our flagship station, 1010XL in Jacksonville, stick around. The Scoreboard Show is next. We'll take your calls. You can hear it on radio here in Jacksonville or on Jaguar's social media channels. Senior VP of Jaguars Broadcasting is Chad Johnson. VP of Production, Patrick Cavanaugh. Executive Producer, Dave DeCandis. Manager of Radio, Joe Fortunato. Tony Smith and Linda Fortunato are our producers. Brent Reber and Trent Padilla produce the video for Jaguars.com. For Mike Dempsey and our entire crew, this is JP Shadrick saying good afternoon. The final score for the final time, Jaguars 34, Cowboys 14 on the Jaguars Radio Network.
It's time for the Jaguars Scoreboard Show. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and NFL Network analyst and former Jaguar Bucky Brooks are ready for you to sound off about today's game. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show is brought to you by Baptist Health, Farah and Farah, and by TIAA Bank. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show starts right now.
Welcome into the Scoreboard Show.
Scoreboard
34-14.
First time we've able to say that victoriously in 2021. Preseason, but I'll take it.
Somebody's kind of had to go today, and it was the Jaguars. They got their first win and only win of the preseason, 1-2 record. The Cowboys remain winless in the preseason this year, but the Jags got it done. 34-14, the final score. 355 NFL 1, the number 355-6351. We'll get your calls until 6 o'clock tonight. We'll be here with you.
Yeah, it's tough.
The first time you've said it since last September.
That's right, Tony.
Well, true story.
Wow.
Right?
This
Yes.
that would have been, 17 consecutive games, including preseason this year.
Wait, we get it. Now it doesn't count, right? Enjoy it for the next hour because it doesn't count after that, all right? And then we wipe the slate clean. But it's tough on a Cowboy fan because there are not many teams that are going to have the opportunity to go 0-4 in the preseason anymore. With the 3-game schedule, they played in the Hall of Fame game and came up short. So, only one team is going to have that opportunity in any given year coming out of that game to go 0-4. And for the Jags, JP, as I mentioned to you off the air earlier, 19 more and they catch the Ravens, all-time record in the preseason.
You got to start
20
somewhere.
straight wins. You got to get that first one. So Here we go.
That's right. So the Jags solid today with the starting group. They didn't have 4 of the 5 offensive linemen. They were down for injury today. A couple of the skill guys out. Marvin Jones did not play. We're still missing DJ Chark. Haven't seen him yet in the preseason. So, but hey, Trevor Lawrence looked great. Moved the ball down the field. They found a little consistency, a little momentum, and found the end zone twice.
Yes, and Urban Meyer pointed out the offensive line. He was very happy with the guys, the backups in there. And granted, they're not going against DeMarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory, but you got what you get is a situation where, okay, all these guys, this final preseason game, playing a bunch of backups, they're hungry, right? Either to get more playing time or to make the football team. So guys are going all out. You're just not going against a premier talent, but the Jaguars' backups on the offensive line handled the Cowboys' backups on the defensive line today, and which was important. You didn't want to see Trevor Lawrence just under constant harassment. He had the time to throw, and again, I thought they dialed up some really quick stuff early to get the ball out of his hands. He was successful. We talked about it's like shooting a layup, ball goes through the basket, all of a sudden that 15-footer feels a little bit easier for you. So, you get a couple of quick 7-8-yard completions, and then, okay, now you start to get in a rhythm, and he definitely got in a rhythm today.
355 NFL 1, 355-6351. The number will come back. Plenty of your calls coming up tonight. We're here till 6 o'clock, and it's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the SUVs of the future for everyone. Like Ford Escape, Edge, or Explorer. All named 2021 IIHS top safety picks with specific headlights. One of the many reasons why Ford has the freshest lineup of SUVs in America. Because the SUVs of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford SUVs. Drive one today. When equipped with available LED headlamps based on AutoSource Incorporated data obtained on 10520.
A lot has changed in 60 years, but there's one thing that remains the same. Our commitment to our customers and to our community. There's no place like Jacksonville, and there's no place like Gate. Thank you for allowing us to serve you, past, present, and future. Now through August 31st, Jags fans can enjoy 2 of your favorite roller grill items for just $2 at participating Gate locations. Get them while they're hot. Gate, serving up more.
At ViStar, we believe in better, especially in helping build a better financial future for our members. So we've reviewed our offerings from the ground up. We've lowered or eliminated over half our fees and enhanced our already competitive rates, saving members more than $1 million this year, in addition to the millions we save them every year. If you believe that saving money is better, join ViStar. Visit ViStarCU.org. All loans subject to approval, insured by NCUA.
After a major storm, you can count on JEA to safely restore power as quickly as possible. During Phase 1, we restore power to critical infrastructure, hospitals, shelters, and police and fire stations. In Phase 2, we put all our resources into restoring power to neighborhoods and businesses. And during Phase 3, we won't stop until every outage is resolved. Because when the community you serve is home, there's more than power on the line. Learn more at Do More with JEA.com. JEA, building a more resilient community.
It's been around longer than your quarterback. When you put it on, everyone knows it's game time. So legendary, it deserves its own Hall of Fame. Members-only jackets, undeniable quality and style for over 45 years. Scratch and claw your way over to membersonly.com. Get ready for football season with a jacket that can only be summed up in one word: iconic. Use discount code Jaguars at checkout for 35% off on all iconic racer jackets. Members only. When you put it on, something happens.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
904-355-NFL1. 904-355-6351. The number for the Scoreboard Show. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey. Jags win 34-14. A lot of positivity today. Maybe. We'll see what the folks have in mind today. Dempsey?
Yeah, I feel more positive, right? I found I enjoyed today's game much more than the two previous, and I'd forgotten what it was like when the Jags came out ahead on the scoreboard. It's been a long time, right? Yeah. So let's try this again in the regular season as many times as possible, right? So I'm going to enjoy it for at least, 24-hour rule, whatever you want to say, JP. I can enjoy it for the next 2 weeks if I want to. So 355-NFL1. Let's go out to the phone lines for the first time here on the Scoreboard Show. We'll start with Pierre checking in all the way from Santa Maria, California. Pierre, good afternoon. How are you?
What's going on? What's going on?
You tell us.
Mike, you got it wrong. It's Coach Pierre. Coach Pierre is back. Mike, Coach Pierre is back.
Oh, Coach Pierre.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I've been doing some scouting.
Oh, have you?
Doing some scouting. Oh, yeah. And JP.
Yes.
In the words of the great Urban Meyer, we just got to score some goddamn points.
Oh, yeah.
Easy. Come on
Careful.
now. Coach can get away with that stuff. You can't.
Yeah.
So appreciate that, Coach Pierre.
To his point, they did score some points today.
They did score some points today. Thank you, Coach
That's
Pierre.
positive.
We don't need to punctuate it quite like that.
Couple touchdowns. Found pay dirt.
Yes.
Finally.
Okay. I was curious to know who he was scouting, but we'll have to save that for a later time. Right. Let's go to Kyle. We asked him what part of town he's calling from. He said the northwest side. So, Kyle, good afternoon. How are you?
Hey, Mike. How's it going?
It's going well.
What's going on, JP?
Hey, man. What's up?
Hey, what I wanted to comment on is Trevor Lawrence. You got to see him actually make the throws that we drafted him for, but what I really like to see is him running the shotgun more and Meyer kind of curving the offense to put him in those winnable situations more so than the first 2 weeks when he was under center a lot. So it shows to me Meyer's at least looking at making adjustments and not just pushing his one system.
He said it after the game just a few minutes ago. That was a point. We're going to throw the ball down the field, and we don't have the starting offensive line. That might have been part of that,
right?
To mix it up and have a different look today to give him maybe an extra beat, at least to look downfield.
Well, you're already, however many yards behind the line of scrimmage before you take a 3-step drop from there, which is quick, and then you're where you would be on a 5 or 7-step drop. Look, they're not going to show you everything. There are going to be times they line up in the shotgun. There'll be plenty of times. There are going to be times when he's under center. This team wants to run the football, JP, and I could see them coming out, wanting to, run James Robinson and Carlos Hyde right down your throat, loosen things up, and then let Trevor Lawrence take advantage of that. But, of course, look, these guys are professional coaches. When I say Urban Meyer's a professional coach, he's a football coach. It's, you know what I mean? He's just new to the pro ranks, but he's a coach, and Darrell Bevell's been around the block. They're not going to watch your quarterback get beat up repeatedly over and over and over without trying some different things. They all have some different things. I kind of facetiously tweeted out after the first touchdown, does this mean Darrell Bevell is safe to make it to week 1? Right? 'Cause, I mean, we literally had people calling us this week ready to fire Darrell Bevell.
I was on your show Tuesday,
Right.
and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, well, that's how fans are, and it's fine, man. I mean, fans are passionate, and but yeah, Kyle, you're right. Look, they're going. Obviously, everyone wants Trevor Lawrence to succeed, and I don't think anyone's going to go in there with any hard-headed notion of this is the only way we can run an offense. They're going to look at this guy. I don't think Urban Meyer won all those games by just saying this is the offense, this is how we're going to play. You take the strengths of your players and you emphasize those strengths. That's what good coaches do. He's always been a good coach. That doesn't mean he's guaranteed to be successful at the pro level, but we know Trevor can make every throw out there. Just put him in position, and I think you're right, JP. With the offensive line beat up, they probably say, hey, let's take him out of harm's way a little bit more. If this helps, give him that extra half second. No harm in that.
And get it out quick, Trevor, while you're at it. I mean, don't hold it all day.
It wasn't a day either like early on when they wanted to rely on the running game. This was, let's put the ball in Trevor Lawrence's hands, right? James Robinson got 3 carries. Carlos Hyde officially had 1. He had the touchdown overturned on the holding call. So your top 2 backs had a total of 4 carries. Trevor Lawrence threw it a dozen times. So they came out here to establish the passing game. Let's let him drive it downfield. Now, I would expect, again, regular season rolls around, I think he'll probably spend a good bit of time under center. He can do it all. You know, you'll see him in a pistol, you see him in a full shotgun. You'll have a mix of different looks, hopefully.
And it's so many different options out of those different looks, too, with the handoffs or reads or whatever you want to do with it.
Like practically zero motion in this offense, right? I mean, none. And do you think they're not going to have guys moving in motion and guy moving from the slot to line up in the backfield and vice versa?
So we heard that Travis Etienne Jr. was going to do, was move around pre-snap and all
I think
this
people,
stuff.
when they didn't see it immediately, they're like, it must not be in the playbook.
Well, they just forgot.
Look, again, let's not get carried away. It doesn't mean all of a sudden they're going to go hang 34 on everybody this year. But they did it today, and they loosened things up, so we're happy with the results.
We are. Let's take a timeout. We'll come back. Plenty on the line tonight. We'll get to your calls coming up. If you're on the line, stick with us. If not, get in. 355 NFL1, the number 355-6351. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
Hey Jaguars fans, tired of being late to the game because you're still stuck in traffic or circling the block looking for a place to park? Next time, join thousands of other Jags fans who already know the smart way to get to the stadium is on the JTA Game Day Express. Express shuttles run from 5 convenient locations, including the newest location at FSCJ downtown. Tickets start at just $8 and are available exclusively on the MyJTA mobile app. The JTA Game Day Express. It's like winning before the game even starts.
Any repeated physical activity puts stress on the body. Checking your phone, getting in the car, sitting at your desk, checking the phone, getting in your car, sitting at your desk, checking your phone for the 50th time today. If you do anything with regularity, you should get massaged with regularity. Massage Envy. Keep your body working.
Regular body work makes the body work with massage, skincare, and stretch. Come in today for more information or visit massageenvy.com for more details.
Decisions are a part of our everyday life. Whether you're building a football team or building your education, your success is built on the decisions you make. So choosing J-Tech as your career training destination should be a no-brainer. With small class sizes, dedicated instructors, job placement assistance, and financial aid available for those who qualify, J-Tech is praised as a good choice by our graduates. Learn how you can build your career the right way by visiting jtech.org for more information.
If something's been hurting, aching, or bothering you, don't ignore it any longer. It's time to take care of your health again. It's time to make an appointment with a Baptist Health primary care doctor or specialist. Call 904-202-4U to schedule a virtual visit or see a doctor in person at a Baptist Health location. The time for better health is here. Call 904-202-4YOU or visit getbetterjacks.com.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Welcome back. The Scoreboard Show continues. 355-NFL-1, the number 355-6351. We're here until 6 o'clock to review this football game. The Jaguars beat the Cowboys today 34-14. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey.
Hello.
Hello. And we're listening.
Yes, so we are. Thank you, Frazier. 355-NFL-1, as JP pointed out. Our next caller here on the Scoreboard Show is John in Callahan. John, good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
We're good.
I just wanted to point. I wanted to point out a couple of things on the defense. I mean, last year the defense cost us points on the board. Our offense couldn't keep up with it. This year, I think we're a little bit better. I mean, you got players like Weingartner, who last year, well, I mean, the first two games he made penalties that cost us. But this last game, it seemed like he was more in sync, working with players like Miles Jack. I mean, he's doing a little bit better. And I think Bucky is going Hollywood on us. I mean, I'll take that off the air and have a good evening.
Whoa, hold on. What do you
leave
mean
with
by that?
Oh, he left.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Hit and run.
What does that mean?
Oh,
because he's not here on the post game.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever, man. I'm not going to give Bucky any
I don't know. I just want to know what he means by going. He lives in Los Angeles, so maybe
it's just
what it is. The geography thing.
You got to do it.
He'll
be back with us week one.
Who was it?
Weingartner? I have to look through that one. Andrew Wingard.
Yes.
Third-year safety from Wyoming.
Look,
Weingartner.
It's, again, they did not play against Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Alvin Kamara, or Ezekiel Elliott, all right, which were the running backs available to the Browns, Saints, and now Cowboys that they faced. But against the guys that they did go up against, for the most part, they did a really solid job in containing the run. And that's where it all starts, right? If they're going to run it down your throat, they don't even need to throw it. So let's hope they've got added beef up front. And we know Malcolm Brown has been a good player and a good starter in this league. Roy Robertson-Harris, we're hopeful, right? I mean, he was a solid rotational player, but he's never taken on this large of a role before.
The Bears liked him enough to keep him around the last couple of years. They didn't have to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Devon Hamilton, the way he is talked about by this coaching staff and by people who really understand the position is this guy could become a dominant player.
He's pushing people around.
As a nose tackle. So when you got that up front, JP, and obviously you're going to rotate a lot of guys in there, you got a chance to be pretty stout because you got some downhill guys. Miles Jack can play downhill. Miles Jack can play any kind of linebacker you want, but he can certainly play downhill, and Damian Wilson's a downhill guy. Shaq Quarterman's a downhill guy. I'm talking about, guys that are going to meet the ball carrier right at the line of scrimmage. They're not going to make these tackles 7 yards down just dragging them down. They're going to come up there and pop somebody. So you feel like that interior pair of linebackers with the three in front of them is going to do a good job. And then the question is, how much pass rush can they generate with Josh Allen? I heard Jeff and Tony talking about this on the broadcast. Is Jahad Ward the next man up, right? Like if you were opening the season right now, is he the starter on the other side? It's possible, right?
Sure it is.
What kind of development will we see from Caleb on Chason this year and others that get that opportunity? But the hope is there. They've got some new guys in the secondary. Shaq Griffin's given up some receptions now.
He has.
He looked good the times I've seen him in training camp. They paid him a bunch of money. He's got to be, I don't know how many true lockdown guys there are, but he's got to play like a number one. He's got to play like one of the top 30 or so corners in the league this year, to be sure. And then, you've got some youth and speed there, so that there are reasons to believe it will be better. I guarantee you there'll be times this year when this defense will look like, man, what are they doing? What are they, because they're not going to be a finished product.
It's new.
Year.
It's all new, and it will take a little time to mesh. And they want to do a lot of different things on defense too. It sounds like hearing Joe Cullen talk about it. Different packages, different personnel groupings. That's a lot to put on a young football team if you have a lot of youth out.
You're right, and if you're doing a lot of different blitzes from different angles, everyone's gonna have to know their assignments, have them. And that secondary is going to have to cover up for you back there. And I think they have the talent to hang with guys. I'm encouraged by what we've seen. C.J. Henderson seems to be progressing throughout the preseason and had a lot of reps today, needed them. Urban Meyer talked about how well he thought he played today. I was most impressed by him running across that formation today and stuffing a running back like 2 yards shy of a first down. I mean, CJ's not the biggest guy in the world, man, but he put the Jets on, and a lot of corners don't like to stick their nose in there. That was an encouraging sign. We know Tyson Campbell's been in position to make plays. Let's hope that he learns how to do that and get his head around. But they've got potential on both sides of the football. There are going to be times this year when we're going to be pulling our hair out, I have a feeling, because it is such a young team. You just look at
we don't have
you just
hair,
glance.
Mike.
I could tell.
Speak
you glanced
for yourself,
right at the top
Mike.
of my head. That was not subtle in the least bit. But
I mean, look at the
metaphorically
mirror,
speaking,
I have the
JP.
same issue.
Yes,
I get it,
but you
man.
did. I'm looking right at him. For folks who are not watching on Jaguars.com, he glanced right at the top of my head when I said that. Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome.
All right.
I'm with you.
355-NFL1.
Yeah, give me a call. 355-6351. We'll be here till 6 o'clock tonight. So a lot of positive for this team today. Yeah, that defensive talk, a lot of folks were really worried about what this offense was going to do. And I think the defense at times kind of gets forgotten about because of the flashy new things on offense, the quarterback and the coordinator and the weapons on offense and things. Well, yeah, the defense was 31st in the league last year. I mean, you're not going to win many games no matter what kind of offense you have.
No.
If you're that far down. Now, if you're scoring 40 a game, you can get away with some different things on defense, but you can't live with a 31st defense no matter who you are.
Look, we all want to sit here now. I do. I want to sit here and be as optimistic as possible. Go, man, this team could be 14-3, and I play all the scenarios where.
No, come on.
I know. I'm just saying, right? Even JP Shadrick knows that's not realistic,
right?
And that's saying something.
Own it,
JP. But I will say that this year, to me, today's game is a microcosm of what this year needs to be. Today's game is about Trevor Lawrence having some success. This year is about Trevor Lawrence launching his career and putting himself in position where he is the unquestioned leader of this entire franchise going into next year, and that's when you think the big leap forward can come. I want them to win as many games as possible. What that number is, I don't know, right? Anything over 1 is better than last year, but we're not going to be satisfied with 2 or 3 either. So let's win as many as we can. Let's have some meaningful games late in the season if possible. All that would be great. But if nothing else, if Trevor Lawrence goes out there and he throws for 4,400 yards, and he has a very good touchdown-to-interception ratio, and he passes all the eyeball tests that in my opinion, he's going to pass, and you feel like you just cannot wait to buy that season ticket for 2022 because you know something special is coming, that is probably enough for this season. That's not going to be enough for everybody. I'm saying for me, that's going to be enough if he shows himself to be the guy we think he is.
There was an article on Jaguars.com that a few of us contributed to right before training camp, and it was, what do you want to see out of Trevor Lawrence in year one? It was the basis. There's 5, 6, 7 people that contributed to this thing, and everybody was either doing statistics or 30 touchdowns and 10 picks, whatever, a yardage number. This. I think all I wrote was just consistent improvement as the season goes along. It won't be an easy arrow up all the way. There'll be a couple of hiccup games where he throws some interceptions. but can he grow from what he saw in those games, adjust it, because the defenses will adjust to him after a few books on him, after a few games in. Can he get past that and then keep moving forward? What does that mean in the win-loss column, win-loss total? I don't know, but let's just see him continually, gradually get better as the season goes along. And then, like you said, to your point, that will be set up for 2022 when you have some more parts and components that you can bring in, another draft coming in, another free agency period to put some people around him and maybe on defense too. That was my whole idea with Trevor this year. I really don't – if he throws 20 interceptions, as long as he learns from them, okay.
Yeah, I would – honestly, I think I'm not anticipating he's going to have that kind of year. I don't think he's going to throw 20 interceptions. You know, I understand, like, it's a little the rules are getting more liberalized every year seemingly, right? And even from where Peyton Manning broke in, everyone's talking about, oh, he had 20, nearly 30 interceptions. It's an easier situation for quarterbacks than it ever has been before. So I think it could come in here, and it wouldn't. You look what Justin Herbert did last year. Why can't he have a Justin Herbert-like rookie season?
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
I mean, look, do we think he's a better prospect than Justin Herbert? I do.
Yeah.
Right? Now, a lot of things have to go right. He's got to get help. He's got to get protection. But if he does, he's got the talent that ultimately I think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback in the National Football League. How quickly that comes is my only question with him. And I think for a lot of people at the end of the year, if they say, man, he's exactly as advertised, and you just cannot wait for that next season to start, I think that's going to be a successful year, whatever that one-loss record happens to be. It can't be a 2-15. I don't think you're going to go 2-15. He's got to elevate this team, right?
Sure.
I mean, he does at some point. He's got to be the difference in playing close games and winning close games in the fourth quarter, and I think he will be ultimately.
We're here till 6 o'clock, 355-NFL-1, the number, 355-6351. More of your calls and plenty ahead. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
At VyStar, we believe in better. And what's better than saving up to $5,000 in closing costs when you buy or refinance a home? With a VyStar no closing costs mortgage, you'll get a great rate, no hidden fees, and like the name says, no closing costs up to $5,000. If you believe saving money is better, join VyStar. Equal housing opportunity, insured by NCUA. All loans subject to credit approval. Offer not available on VA and FHA mortgages. For more information, visit VyStarCU.org.
Hey Jaguars fans, are you ready to talk some trash? Well, nobody talks trash quite like Waste Pro, the official waste service and recycling partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Specializing in residential and commercial solid waste and recycling collection, processing, and disposal, Waste Pro is equipped to handle all your recycling and garbage removal needs. For service, call 904-731-7288. Waste Pro, caring for communities and caring for Jacksonville.
It's time for sunshine and summer showers, so it's more important than ever to make sure you call Crystal Clean for all your waterproofing needs. Waterproofing can extend the life of your building by keeping water outside where it belongs. And that Florida sun can beat up your business's paint job. Crystal Clean's painting services can bring your building back to life. From waterproofing to painting, schedule Crystal Clean today. Call 904-220-3337 or go to crystalclean.com. You don't have to worry when it's crystal clean.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the SUVs of the future for everyone. Like Ford Escape, Edge, or Explorer. All named 2021 IIHS top safety picks with specific headlights. One of the many reasons why Ford has the freshest lineup of SUVs in America. Because the SUVs of the future aren't built for a few. They're built for America. Ford SUVs. Drive one today. When equipped with available LED headlamps based on AutoSource Incorporated data obtained on 10520.
Fans like you have been told that going all out is going too far. But fans like you know better. You're the kind of fan who loves the team as much as your pet. Who paints yourself for game days and dyes your pet's fur to match. Who bleeds the team's colors and buys your pet team-branded everything. Who plans every game day watch party for fellow sports lovers and their beloved pets, of course. You are a rare breed. You are a pet fanatic, equal parts pet obsessed, and die-hard sports fan. At Pet Paradise, they're crazy about pets too. That's why pet fanatics take their pets to Pet Paradise, the official pet care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And they're ready to go all out for your pet. Pet Paradise. It's a new day in pet care.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
355 NFL 1, 355-6351. 15 minutes to go on the Scoreboard Show. Giddy up, Mike. What do we got?
Giddy up, JP. Let's go out to Dallas, Texas. Kenny.
See?
Kenny. Well, no, absolutely. Kenny tells us he was at the game, and so that means he was in attendance for the first ever W for Trevor Lawrence-led Jaguar teams, albeit in the preseason. Kenny, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, buddy.
Good. Well, what's on your mind?
Today,
yeah.
And I just want to, first of all, I want to give a shout out to the fans of Dallas. They're absolutely great people.
Okay.
Beautiful stadium. Absolutely beautiful stadium. And I was kind of in distress a little bit because I suffered from back pain when I was walking around, but I had some fans help me out and everything. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody in Dallas for their hospitality.
It's nice, yeah. And it seems like a nice place,
also,
I'll say that.
As far as the game goes, it was good to see Trevor get out there and throw a couple touchdown passes, and our run defense looks really good. And I'm just really excited about the season getting started.
All right, Kenny. Well, hey, listen, I don't know if you're from Dallas or you're making your way back or whatever, but safe travels if you are traveling. But he said, good to see Trevor Lawrence get a couple touchdowns. Run defense looks solid, and just excited for the season to start.
I don't know if they do. I wonder if they print tickets in Dallas. You could frame that ticket stub, first touchdown.
Yeah, I think you can request a ticket to be printed for you under certain circumstances. Honestly, I mean, if I'm a season ticket holder, I'm looking to get my home opener printed out this year, right?
Yeah, right.
First home game that really counts for Trevor Lawrence. I mean, it's going to be a big season of first for him. Let yourself dream a little bit, Jaguar fans. I mean, you've suffered enough, way more than you should have, but that suffering led you to have the number 1 overall pick, and I think we got a guy now that I've said it all along, even over the last couple weeks, JP. I haven't doubted that Trevor Lawrence is going to be just fine, and I think he's going to be exceptional, ultimately. And, it's a lot to look forward to. How quickly it gets here is the question.
I mean, it'd be nice if it was quick.
Right, no, sure. But, I mean, look, I think you're going to have fun this year. I think you're going to have a puncher's chance most weeks, right? Because I think when you have a quarterback as talented as he is, I don't want to call him an elite quarterback. He hasn't played it down that matters in the National Football League, but he's got elite talent. He's got elite potential, and I think it's going to be fun, And you got a coach that doesn't countenance losing very well. So,
yeah.
And
I'm sure he doesn't either, Trevor. I mean, he has
never
done it. So
heck no.
They are it's a good combination. 355 NFL 1. We'll come back. We'll take our final time out. We will be here until 6 o'clock.
6 p.m., baby.
We're going to wrap it up. So we've got about 13 minutes from right now.
All right.
And this is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
Headquartered right here in Jacksonville, CSI Companies is one of the fastest-growing workforce solutions companies in the nation. As a proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI has the resources necessary to scale with any enterprise, yet they are small enough to maintain the agility, personal service, and remarkable experience they've become known for over the past 3 decades. This is your workforce and your business reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com to learn more.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
So we had a problem with our office IT systems a few months back. And of course, I don't want the boss getting upset about it, since she still hasn't forgiven me for last month's wardrobe malfunction. So I did the smart thing and called Sassine's Office Systems. They've provided top-notch IT solutions and services since 1981, including Canon copiers, printers, and mailing solutions. They even handle wide-format printers and electronic document storage, which is important since my boss still hasn't forgiven me for the birthday cake incident. Best of all, Sassine's Office Systems has flexible support programs, certified field techs, and fast, friendly service for one flat monthly fee. And saving money is always a good thing, especially since my boss still hasn't forgiven me for my parachute pants presentation. I was actually wearing parachute pants.
Trust Sassine's Office Systems to handle your IT equipment and office systems, including Canon-connected copiers and printers. Learn more at sassines.com. That's SISSINES.com.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show. Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Welcome back to Scoreboard Show. Scoreboard 34-14. Jaguars over the Cowboys. And let's get some final calls tonight.
Yeah, let's hopefully we get to use that phrase when it counts for real now. 355 NFL 1. Robert is in Keystone Heights checking in on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, Robert.
Hey, guys. Great win for the Jags today, but I was wondering if y'all saw anybody that maybe saved themselves today or anybody that put themselves in more danger of being released.
Yeah, good question.
Divino Zigbo. I think, and that's going to be a tough one depending on the other position groups. I think he had a very good day today towards the end. Will it be enough? I don't know.
It's tough with him because I think he is very similar in style to James Robinson and Carlos Hyde, that he's hard charging. He's not going to break many ankles out there. I didn't see a ton in the passing game out of him. Never have. Don't know what his special teams contributions are, but in terms of what he does, JP, he gave you everything you could possibly ask out of him, right? He ran tough, busting tackles, could have gone down on first contact a couple of times, and he did play very well. One guy, look, what's up with Colin Johnson, right? Kind of disappearing act today.
2 targets, no catches.
Right, but it's more the pecking order. You had Farrell Cooper playing ahead of him, Treadwell, Dorsett. I think all these guys got on the field ahead of him today.
They don't have the official playing time percentage yet. That's usually done tomorrow on the official game book, so we don't have the exact number of plays he played today.
Right, and the percentage won't necessarily tell. Like, to me,
yeah, right.
If
it's
you
just
played
the order of operations.
Sure. But if he had played the first drive and then sat out the rest of the game, you'd feel really good about it, because then you feel like he's a pretty important piece. I thought that was a big play for Dorsett today. Mentioned that earlier. I really do. I know it's only one catch, but they wanted to, as Urban Meyer pointed out, they wanted to drive the ball down the field. Dorsett got open deep and adjusted to a ball thrown over his outside shoulder, made a nice catch there, and that is why he is on this football team. It's to stretch the field. He's not going to be a high-volume receiver, but when if he makes a team, you want that guy to average at least 18 yards a catch. I mean, he's that kind of guy, right? Just you're going to take deep shots to him and maybe not much else, and that's fine. And so he put himself there in a good position. I thought Laquan Treadwell with the touchdown. I thought the tackle on special teams was big as well.
Big.
When you're the fifth, let's say they keep 6 and Agnew as a return man counts as one of them. That fifth guy, you have to contribute on special teams, and Treadwell showed you he could help you in that regard today. So I do think he helped himself. I think C.J. Henderson just continues to solidify his importance. Not that he was ever in danger of not being on this football team, based on his talent and all that, but now that he's getting back in the groove, I think he's picking up his play as we go along. It wasn't a good day, I didn't think, for Sidney Jones out there. But just doing the numbers and looking at the depth chart, I think he's going to be one of the corners that they keep.
I have questions about Andrew Wingard. What's his role?
Yeah,
he was a special teams guy last year. Obviously played a bunch of safety last year. He's been around a couple of years now. But where does he fall in the pecking order with Rayshawn Jenkins at free safety now? Daniel Thomas is still around, a draft pick from last year. And then that battle at strong safety too. I mean, there's a lot of new faces and guys they have draft equity in the last couple of years.
Absolutely. And look, no matter who it came against, the ball doesn't know who threw it, right? So he's got a chance to make an interception, maybe go the other way for 6 points and just flat out dropped it, And when you're in a position to make those plays, you got to make those plays, especially if you're kind of on the roster bubble. I mean, Shaq Griffin is in position to make some plays last week, didn't make them. Shaq Griffin's probably pretty safe.
I think he's going to be fine.
I think he's going to be okay. So those are some of the guys I think that stood out.
I meant Weingartner. I didn't mean Wingard.
I know you did.
Yeah,
I know you did. I don't know if Ben Ellison's done enough. I don't know if they're going to keep 4 tight ends.
That's the question. Right?
If they do, I think he's clearly the 4th tight end at this point in time.
Because if you're going to keep, let's say, an extra safety,
sure,
then you got to take
maybe an extra receiver with these guys pushing for.
It's 2. You got to take those numbers from somewhere else. Where are you going to take them?
Right,
from?
and you figure, Manhurts is your inline blocker, 6th offensive lineman type. O'Shaughnessy's going to be your main pass catcher, and then Farrell's going to be your developmental guy to be your future all-around tight end, at least based on the way the roster is set up right now. So those are some of the guys, Again, that receiver group going to be a tough one. You could make a case for probably 4 or 5 guys for that last spot, and it shouldn't be shocking if any one of them gets it. And we'll find out by Tuesday.
And then let's see. Also, even if they make the cut to 53 on Tuesday, which they will,
do they survive the next few days?
Yeah, because they might go find somebody they feel is better suited for certain things.
Oh, this guy got released, right? And
let's claim him and then cut somebody else. That cut on Tuesday is not the last cut. I mean, they could cut, and if they find somebody out there that comes through the waiver process and they feel like they can contribute or they have a better tape or they know or trust what he does, then – I mean, now they won't upgrade a full position through that route. I mean, you can't do that overnight. But if they can upgrade a certain piece of the roster, then maybe they do that. And with enough of those, maybe it elevates a position group somehow.
One other guy who wasn't necessarily based on his play today, but Ogunbowale with the injury to ETN, you feel like almost has a roster spot locked up, right? He played very early. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think he gives you that receiving ability that you're very comfortable with. There, not maybe going to give you a ton as a runner, but that's not what his role would be. You're going to get that out of Robinson and Hyde, hopefully, this year. So those were some of the guys. And, hey, a little bit of a breath of relief for Josh Lambo just hitting it down the center today, right?
Yeah, right.
Because
there was a pregame talk on our shows today was what happens there.
What happens if he has another couple misses today, right? And he's been scuffing along in practice a little bit. And Urban Meyer said after the game, I listened to see the reaction. I didn't want to watch. That tells you it's been on his mind.
Right. That's right. So that'll do it for the scoreboard show. Coming up in 2 weeks, the Jaguars and the Houston Texans, week 1 at NRG Stadium in Houston. A 1 o'clock kickoff time. We'll go on the air with the Publix Tailgate Show at 10 o'clock, as we did today. And then noon with Countdown to Kickoff on the Jaguars Radio Network. And here we are, 2 weeks away.
Got a mini bye week coming up, baby.
A mini bye. We've got cuts coming on Tuesday. We'll see what the practice schedule is this week. And then the week after that, it's full go, getting ready for the regular year.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, finally. Look, you look forward to every season, but now you got a chance. You think that you're watching the building blocks of something special that may not come to fruition for several seasons, but this is it. This is the beginning of the Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to call it the Trevor Lawrence Urban Meyer era because I think Trevor Lawrence is much more important ultimately. I'm not saying Urban Meyer is not super important. He's going to have his hands on every aspect of this organization, but if you don't have that quarterback, man, good luck being a championship contender on a consistent basis.
Thanks to our entire crew, Tony Smith, Linda Fortunato's on the phones, Trent Padilla on the video side tonight, and thank you for your calls this evening. Final score for the final time in Dallas, Jaguars 34, Cowboys 14. Check out Jaguars Today all week coming up on 1010XL, 10 to noon.
Yes, sir.
We look forward to that, and thanks for having me on.
That was fun.
That was a lot of
fun.
Thanks
for coming by.
We'll have all the shows on Jaguars.com this week. Jaguars Happy Hour tomorrow night with Tony Baselli, Pete Prisco. Jaguars Drive Time in the mornings throughout the week as well. Check out the schedule on Jaguars.com. We'll catch you next time. This has been the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.